So you're an engineer and you want to become a team leader or a very successful project manager. Well, how can you do that? What are the critical steps to take, and how do you actually take them? Well, in this week's Engineering Management Lessons video, I'm lucky to have with me Eric Thompson. Eric is a licensed professional engineer. He's also the Water Resources Team Leader at MSA Professional Services. Eric, you're a team leader. You have experience now leading teams, coming from a technical background and making that transition. What advice do you have for our listeners that really want to become a team leader? What are some critical things, or one really critical thing that they must do?
I would say a really fundamental skill to develop is learning to speak in public, and learn to speak in public at the level of your audience. So it's often said that engineers make difficult communicators because we want to try to convey all of the information so that the audience can have a complete picture of why we're making the recommendation we're making. But in practice, I don't think people really care so much about understanding it themselves. They want to know that you understand it. And if you can convey to them those big picture items at the level of communication that they understand, at the layperson level, you'll instill in them confidence that you know what you're doing and you've identified those big picture items and you're tackling those to give them the service or the product or the design that they really need. It's all based on that communication and making sure that you're able to sell yourself and your services to them as the one best solution for them at the time.
That's great. And just one follow-up question on that, in terms of developing those speaking skills, what are some things you recommend that one could do to do that?
Consider every opportunity to speak to people as a marketing opportunity. They may walk by your workstation, and if you're diligently at work, that sends a message of what it is that you're doing. If you're at the water cooler talking about stuff, make sure that you're doing it in an organized fashion that conveys to them what it is you're talking about in terms that they understand. How you carry yourself as you walk down the street says something about who it is you are. So when I say learn to speak in public, it's really learn how to carry yourself in public, learn how that every which way that you present yourself gives somebody an impression of who it is you are. And your words, of course, are the strongest way that you can do that. And if you do that in the most effective way, consciously at all times, you're going to come out better. Even more so when you have an opportunity to speak to a client at a client meeting, at a public hearing, or at a conference, you should go out of your way to take those opportunities to do that. Because the more you put yourself in the spotlight, the more it becomes old hat, and the more you just do it by habit.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that video with Eric. When he talks about being able to speak effectively and communicate, it means everything, but I'm glad that he gave you some tips on how to do it. You've got to volunteer, you've got to get out there, you've got to talk to people. You develop that skill, it's a game changer for you. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe to our channel here. We put out videos like this on a weekly basis to help engineers become better managers and leaders. I'll see you next week.